Live to tape from the Bellagio Cinema in Tampa, Florida, with your host, Andy Signore. He may have lost the fight, but he'll win the war. This is Nerd Wars.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Wars. I'm so happy to be here with 6 competitors who are going to duke it out in 3 amazing topics that will be: do zombies poop? Most evil object in honor of Halloween approaching, and most misunderstood villain. I'm so happy to do it, and let's meet our teams who are going to be fighting out. The way this show works is we have 2 teams of 3. One player will lead each argument, but any player can tap in at any point. And first up, we are meeting Team Sanderson Sisters. Hey, guys. I get it. It's Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Shannon. How are you doing?
Good. I'm ready to kick some butt today. So, guys, move over.
Ooh, did you hear that, guys? All right, well, Shannon, I'm happy to back. Also happy to back. I'm going to have you guys rotate your spots so we see everybody. Next up is Lynn. Hey, welcome back, Lynn.
Thank you.
Are you excited? I know you're a horror aficionado.
I definitely am. I've been looking forward to a horror episode super hard. So, yeah.
Well, this is the beginning. It's only October. We're going to do several more, and I can't wait to hear your argument. Next up, let's meet your newbie of your team, Tia. Welcome, Tia.
Hello.
How are you doing, Tia?
I'm doing all right.
Excited? You nervous?
I mean, I had a drink or 2. I should be good.
High five. Good. That's what you need. Liquid
Yes,
courage.
liquid courage.
All right, guys. I'm excited to see how you do. Let's meet your competitors. You guys are going up against Brokeback Hellraiser. What?
I know.
Wow. And making his debut on the show is Brandon. How's it going, man?
That's going pretty good. I'm ready to kick some ass, take some names.
Good. Are you feeling nervous on your first show?
Of course.
Good. Did you have any liquid courage yourself?
No, I forgot.
Well, you can go get one real quick. Let's meet
sweet.
your fellow team members while you go figure that out. Back to fight again. It's Gil. Bravo Nest last week, man.
It was a hard battle, but I feel as if I held my own.
You did. You
often
want to
hold
eat
my own.
hobbits, so
Yeah.
you're on record, and I approve of that.
I mean, yeah, if you want to go get some later.
You did win the argument, so
Yeah.
good on you. Let's meet the third member of your team. Welcome back, Adon.
Jello.
This is your third appearance.
Yeah, I would say so.
Wow,
it is.
good on you.
I'm happy to be here.
You do great. I love you got a chill voice. It's so just nice for me. I love it. You don't lose your cool like some of the other players here. Let's see if you lose your cool today.
I might. I do sense victory in the corner. I'm smelling it like a sweet aroma.
You're smelling our victory.
That's the zombie poop.
Yeah, you're smelling our victory. I appreciate
By
it.
my records, my team.
Magic wins.
None of the teams I've been on have officially lost.
Oh, really? So you're so far the undefeated champion.
I have lost battles, but I've never
Well,
lost
sir,
wars.
prepare to
Wow.
pop that cherry because it's happening today.
I love this.
I
The
doubt
first
it.
undefeated person here at Nerd War. All right, well, let's Nerd it War it out. Let's get back in Brandon versus Shannon for our first fight. Before we do, I want to remind everybody, go check out our Patreon. That's right. We just launched it last week. There's a bunch of fun tiers. You can watch me watch an honest trailer. How weird and awkward is that? Yeah, I don't want to do it, but you can make me do it. There's lots of other fun stuff in there, so check it out. Go support us so we can do more of these shows, and I can get us gear, and we can eventually go live. That's our goal, so thanks for the support.
Yes.
All right, let's get to it. First up is round 1. Do zombies poop?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to hear this. Let's get to it. Shannon, do zombies poop?
No, they do not poop at all.
Brandon, do zombies poop?
I mean, of course, they do.
I want to hear why. Let's do this. Fight.
All right. So, zombies obviously poop because they are a living being of sorts. Obviously, they're undead, but there has to be something that's keeping them alive. Any kind of organic matter needs some kind of energy to function, whether or not it is a plant or a cell or anything else like that. It needs something in order for it to move. So the big thing is zombies have a working gastrointestinal tract. If they didn't have a functioning tract like that, they wouldn't have the energy needed in order to actually be able to move. And that's my opening statement.
Okay, so first off, zombies don't poop. Number 1, undead creatures don't poop. Vampires don't poop either. Zombies don't poop. Number 2, the definition of pooping in the dictionary. There's over 26 definitions of pooping. None of them talk about the action of taking food in the mouth, going through the digestive system, and then pooping it out. Pooping is usually associated with sailing, boating, all that, so no, the zombies don't do any of that shit of what the definition on Webster says what pooping is. And according to the
Wait, they don't sail or boat?
If you look up pooping, there's like sales and boats. They don't
Oh, like
sell
poop
Yeah.
deck.
Haven't you ever heard
Sorry,
of
just
sailor zombies?
Got it. Keep going.
You know how much
Sorry,
research I did on this topic? I did.
Love
I went into dark places on the internet.
All right,
I tell
continue.
you. So, the fact that we know that they do not physically do anything what pooping is, we have to define what pooping is. So, in order to poop, you have to take something as a substance, absorb the energy, pass it down. You say that they need to do it. Now, there's clear evidence from Night of the Living Dead, George Romero, according to an article in 2010 Vanity. He even stated that he never even considered the possibility of pooping, and he is the father of zombies. He never even conceptually visualized it, which means it doesn't exist. And a survival guide, zombie survival guide, which everyone usually uses to validate whether or not zombies do or do not do things, says in the book that zombies do not poop because you need a functional heart. According to doctors and studies, in order for the digestive tract to work, you need a functional heart, a heartbeat, in order to start the tract. So I could say that maybe something comes out of it, maybe their muscles work, but with no working heart, nothing with the book. They do not poop at all.
So, according to definition, you say that zombies can't poop. And you looked up the Merriam-Webster definition?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you know that the Merriam-Webster definition specifically describes that poop does come out of the large intestine?
But it's not pooping.
It is pooping.
It's not the definition
I
of
looked
pooping.
up the definition.
You looked up the definition of, what's it called?
Feces, defecation, pooping.
But not the
Yes,
actual
and
word.
butts.
But not the actual word pooping. If you look up the word pooping.
I did look up the word pooping.
We're doing that right now.
Yeah.
We're pulling it up.
Is it just?
They're looking up.
Okay.
If you're including a
So
fact.
so defecate. But we're not talking about defecating. We're talking about
Defecation
pooping.
is the art of pooping.
No, it's not. Not according to the dictionary. If you look up pooping, you're just making a stretch.
No, I'm not. Also, on subject of you talking about Night of the Living Dead, in The Walking Dead, Norman Reedus' character, Meryl, actually goes and looks for the character Sophia. And in order to do that, he finds a zombie, opens up its stomach in order to see if Sophia is actually in there. A big reason this is important, if the gastrointestinal system isn't working, how could she be in the stomach? Because that would mean that the esophagus needs to be able to function.
Gravity.
No, because in order for something to go down the esophagus, something needs to push it down.
But in an inert
Are you tapping in?
I am. So in an inert tube, things will just gradually descend over time. And Romero's zombies, whenever they had their fill, they would vomit it back up or they would burst. So, I mean, nothing's going through the lower intestine, and there's no bile being created in the liver or elsewhere, wherever bile is created, gallbladder, etc. So if they're not actually performing normal body functions and they're not actually creating new liquids, then they cannot possibly process it through the duodenum and all of those fun little areas that things can get trapped.
Gil's in. Okay, Gil.
Hi there. So I just had some lovely Villaggio's pizza. Dare
It is
say,
good.
if something happened now and I spontaneously turned into a zombie,
Yes.
the food would still be there. The
Yes.
bile would, I dare say, still be there, I hope. And then eventually, my sphincter, if I can say that in public,
You can?
would open up, as it's known to do, and release what I would assume is feces.
Because you've already digested it. Because
Yeah, but
anything
I'm
that's
a-
currently in
I
your
am
body,
a zombie at that point.
there's
So by pure semantics, I'm a zombie and I pooped.
So he's saying there would already be poop in the human's body that would fall out of the butt, in
right.
which case
On-
then a zombie could poop.
On
That's
top of that,
semantics,
I
like-
have to ask one question.
sure.
How do the zombies from Night of the Living Dead move without any kind of energy source?
Magic.
Okay. And why does that allow them to move?
Magic.
What magic? Where's the magic come from?
They would go into rigor mortis and they wouldn't be able to move at all. There has to be maybe something going on
then
in the brain, but
why are
other
they
than
eating?
that,
What is the purpose of them eating? Why would they do that?
because they have an unnatural compulsion due to the magic that's placed on them.
So they feel a compulsion to
All right,
eat.
hold on. I'm going to answer that question. Okay. If the father of zombies says that zombies don't poop, they don't poop. He said the reason that they ate was to fight against Cold War and to do a and talk about shopping consumerism. It is a basic representation of what we do as consumers. It has nothing to
You
do
know
with
what
that.
consumers do? They poop!
Yeah, but they're living, and guess what? Every dying body, their last action is poop. You technically don't become a zombie until after you fucking pooped. So, screw that point, because it doesn't really actually exist.
If biology wasn't really a factor, then answer me this. Like, how is it in Resident Evil you have zombies that are drooling, as well as the zombie dogs? They're producing saliva, which is actually a biological function. And they actually explain in Resident Evil that they trigger
But what are the
brain
true? What are the main core ideologies of zombies and where we take it from? I would like to say that George Romero, who basically created it, is the father
He did
of
not
it.
create zombies. Zombies existed way before
They,
George Romero.
yeah, but
he
they
made them popular.
He made them popular in the 1960s, and
But that's his own spin and twist.
He is viewed as it. It's like basically saying Bill Gates didn't invent computers, but if you talk to someone, they're going to associate with Bill Gates and computers.
Bill Gates never did
You're
invent
gonna
a computer.
take.
He
You're
hired
gonna,
people.
You're going to take.
He commercialized the zombies
Exactly.
genre. Okay,
Well, I'm
noted.
just
I just don't want to
saying-
get hung up on
yeah.
this.
All right.
Noted.
Yes.
Romero's a good point. Let's hear
And
some
then
other points.
Survival guide, that's another huge source material. You're talking about two main source materials, and you're drawing from straws.
I'm just saying, in regards to it, biology still paints a picture. They're still functioning in regards to it and have biological functions.
And
Again, tag in Brandon back.
No creatures that no one can chime in. There's nothing.
Yeah, actually. So in oh my God, in The Last of Us, their zombies in that game actually rely off of a fungus, and in order for them to reproduce, they have to defecate and reproduce spores.
But they're not zombies. They're
Yes, they
actually
are.
they're plant creatures.
Yes,
I watched
that
the
take
game.
over the body.
They're
That's
not
considered
zombies.
a zombie.
Okay, what's the definition of a zombie?
What is the definition? Of
I'm
zombie?
asking you, what's the definition of a zombie? You're the one that suggested it. I'm saying they're not. So what's the definition of zombie?
It is an organism that's been taken over by a host.
What?
Yeah.
What?
You heard me. Go ahead.
Okay, somebody look that up. Cause no. All right, so in the Resident Evil, it was the T virus and or the Las Plagas that were the causes for it. In the Las Plagas case, the shell around it was dead, but the Plagas was the thing that was still alive and animating the zombie, and it needed to eat. In the T virus case, some of those zombies or the things that have been turned into other things may still have a heartbeat. The ones that are just the zombies walking around, you never actually see them salivate. I don't recall them ever salivating.
They do in cutscenes.
Apparently the definition is for zombie, a corpse said to be revived by witchcraft, especially in African and Caribbean
that is
religions.
only one definition. Hey, wait, whoa. Are we allowed to pull out cell phones?
I mean, for a
Apparently
definition,
we're allowed to pull out cell
They were
phones.
doing it in the background.
Yeah.
if one of your team members wants to do it
Also-
while you're talking,
Also,
yes.
you were referring to the cordyceps fungus. Okay, so in reality, the cordyceps fungus infects a living host, and then it grows, and then once it does take over the brain, and it appears to exhibit zombie-like features, but it is still alive. And then once it's taken over the host entirely, the thing dies and it becomes inert.
So why is it only magic in movies that explain science that is reviving a zombie? What is the magic in, say, 28 Days Later?
Oh, in 28 Days Later, the zombies were still alive, but they were just like rabid.
So are they not zombies?
I'm pretty sure. No,
Okay.
in that case,
Are they zombies?
they would
Are they
seem
zombies?
like zombies, but they're just classified under some other thing. They're just zombie-like. They're infected.
They are zombies?
You could take Stephen King's Cell, which he said it's based. You could take Stephen King's Cell, which is basically liquefying the brain and making people act hostile and rage based on the libido aspect of the brain. He even said, Stephen King, those weren't zombies. It was just his take. They were living creatures. So, no, zombies are a magical thing made. They don't poop. Plus, there are tons of things shown on video and everything where zombies combust and explode. And in Santa Clarita Diet, which is a Netflix show, there's a head that eats, and the stuff just pours out of the neck hole because that's all he is a head. But he still needs to eat, so he's not pooping. But he just needs to eat.
All right, final thoughts here from you. From your
Yeah,
team,
we have a Merriam-Webster.
I see it. I can verify that, and it says
A will-less and speechless human held to have died and been supernaturally reanimated. Also, a mixed drink made of several kinds of rum,
That is
liquor,
true as
and
well.
fruit
But reanimated.
I don't think that drink can poop.
reanimated by funguses.
No, reanimated means something that's
viruses.
dead and comes back.
I will give the definition is can be reanimated by multiple reasons.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair middle ground. As reanimated is clearly what the key
And
word is there.
in circumstances
So what's your
where
point
it's-
in your final thought? Why does a fungus make it? Why does that suddenly answer the question that it poops?
Just because that's another way for it to reproduce, and in order for it to burn off excess matter. If it wasn't able to poop, it would not be able to get that stuff out of its system. And
they combust. They combust in.
Do you have an example of that happening?
It happened in Night of the Living Dead in one of the shots, and it also happened in Walking Dead. And it also
why
happened.
do they combust?
It's because they have too much food in them and they can't get it out, so they just combust.
They spontaneously.
They just
saying the stomach's combust.
Yes.
Okay.
I have seen that happen. I've seen that happen.
There's video evidence of them combusting and none that shows that they poop.
That's not primarily just on zombies. People can do that on their own. If you can overeat and
like Monty Python.
I'm saying
just like Monty Python.
I'm
you
saying
can
there
overeat,
is
and that
there
will
is
happen
video
before you get a chance
proof.
to poop.
There's video proof of zombies combusting, but I don't see anything, and you haven't mentioned of them actually pooping.
Okay, so I'm going to use as your closing. She called you out. Can you give me any evidence? In a movie or show or anything?
I cannot, but that's only because it would kill any kind of tension that they had during the scene.
Doesn't matter. It means it doesn't exist.
Okay. Time. Well, that was a passionate. You guys did your research. This was a question we asked. You brought it. Thank you both. Round of applause. Yes, thank you. Good work.
Oh my God, it's gripping. He's killing me.
So it does come down to sort of the definition of poop for me, but that the definition of feces made that harder. I mean, it does though seem that the real way you poop is through a working gastric tract. Which I think you guys did a better job of explaining that they don't have, and you guys didn't give me any sort of cases where they do. It was very close, but I think you almost had it, Gil, with the semantic argument of, well, there might be some poop in a human who died, but I think I'm not going to go that semantical. That would be a little too drastic, but good pull. Ultimately, Shannon, you brought a lot of facts, and I'm impressed. So let's give the team Sanderson Sisters the first point. Bravo, team. But Brandon, good work. Good on you. It's time for round 2, and we've got Lynn and Adon stepping up for Most Evil Object. It's Halloween season approaching, and there's a lot of objects in movies and shows and everywhere that we could take from. And you guys have both picked an object, and you're going to argue it's the most evil. Lynn, what's your object?
It's going to be the laser glass from Oculus.
Ooh, and Adon?
I have chosen one of my favorites, Event Horizon, from Event Horizon. It was so badass, they named it right after it.
All right, we got the ship and the Oculus. Great. Go.
All right. Well, obviously, because we were choosing this, I chose a sentient creature that wasn't even a creature. It was it's the best of everything that you can think of. It's a spaceship. It's huge. It's like a haunted house combined with the abilities of Christine, and like quite literally is from hell. It has the doorway of hell built into it. If you are a fan of Clive Barker, Hellraiser, you have the puzzle box as this ship. And every single thing that's in it is built to freak you out as well as just prepare you for the hell that you're going to be brought back to. There is nothing that I can think of that's more evil than literally the gates of hell.
All right, fair enough. So Oculus was a 2014 film. It's not quite as well known as Event Horizon, which, by the way, was also a fabulous film. If you have not seen Oculus, though, I do recommend skipping past my part because there's going to be a lot of spoilers. But essentially, this is an evil mirror, which seems really boring at first glance. But that's the thing. Once you glance into it, it controls literally everything that you can see, feel, touch, hear. And it also tracks you down. And it infects your dreams if you manage to go outside of its sphere of influence, which the Event Horizon does not have.
Oh, I will contradict that. Absolutely.
It's never shown that it has one.
It did. So, and in fact, when the ship first was created, it was designed to travel from one point of space to another by using a black hole that was controlled inside the area. And it punches a hole through space and time, which ends up, and for those who haven't seen the movie, spoilers, in hell. And disappears for 30 years. When it comes back, people find out because it sends a radio signal altering the voices of the original crew back to Earth to bring in a new crew. And then while the new crew is coming in, one of the original scientists that there is being haunted by dreams of his dead wife. As
Dr.
well
Weir.
As the ship. Dr. Weir, thank you for assist. In regards to that, he's already being influenced before he even gets to the ship. That is well beyond the reach of the ship itself. And then once they're there, everybody's being tormented by dreams, visions. They're seeing things that aren't there. The doctors is seeing her own child, and the captain of the ship is seeing visions of one of the crewmates that he has lost, the only crewmate he's ever lost. They're all being tormented in different ways. And that ship is literally influencing everything that's happened. Even got rid of the ship that brought them there, sabotaged it by using that.
So this was originally a spaceship that was designed to for superluminal flight, faster than light, where it punches a hole through the universe and comes out on the other side. It was originally intended to not to be an evil object, and it was actually influenced by hell that it went through to become evil instead. So it's more the influence of hell that's affecting the ship and everybody that's cursed upon it, rather than the ship itself, because it was never designed for that purpose whatsoever. And you say that it seems like it was designed for it, and really that's just the main container because it has a bunch of spikes in it and it looks creepy, but for the most part the rest of the ship was just the ship. And it only really succeeded in killing the crew while they were in hell, and then a few of the people that managed to come back aboard it, but even then 3 of them escaped and the ship exploded. In Oculus, the mirror won.
I know the third one that you're talking about, that one doesn't really count. That guy's in a coma.
He's having a rough
catatonic,
time, yeah.
And I'm very sure he's not going to make it. And then on top of that, when they escaped, the essence of what was evil still traveled with them. They escaped in a part of the pod, and they show a horroring dream where the nurse doctor, or whatever her name is, it's escaping me right now. Cursey drink. It's definitely there with them. There's not a single chance that essence did not go with them.
That could also be PTSD.
There's no such thing in this case. That PTSD is the alien. Now, not the alien, the hell. But the argument is not what was intended to be the most evil, what started as the most evil, what is the most evil. Right. What is now would be the most evil object.
Most evil object, correct.
Absolutely.
Wrapping it through, yeah.
Now,
so
why is it the most evil?
I got one person tagging in here.
All right. Gil's going to tap in.
So the reason why I'm saying that the mirror is slightly more evil is because it picks and chooses its victims instead of just blandly seeking out and choosing literally anybody based on whether or not they've ever had something bad happen to them. In the Oculus's case, it's actually incredibly intelligent. It has wits. It's able to think up ways to murder people on the fly. It waits things out. It's able to kill even things like plants or animals through absolutely no direct influence of its own.
Not my cabbages. Please no, not my cabbages.
I'm just saying, you don't need eyes. You don't need sentience in order to be affected by the mirror. All the mirror needs to do is choose you. And once it does, it's able to make you die within any time frame. Because as the movie showed, sure, there was a slow drip. Potentially, it was just toying with its victims and having fun. And then eventually, it culminated. But in the movie, everything happened over the space of just a few hours. So it really doesn't care. It just wants to toy with people until it finally reaps their souls.
Gil?
So I'm curious. I'm sorry. Can you repeat what exactly it does again? What was his evil thingies?
Once somebody looks upon it,
Okay.
and it decides that it wants to kill them.
How does it kill plants if it doesn't look upon it?
Because the mirror looks upon the plants.
Oh.
It has
That's deep.
It has
That's
a sphere of influence. So it kills anything that's within its
it's
sphere of
mirror, but
influence,
yeah.
and it grows based on the power of the mirror.
Okay. But, I'm sorry. Wait, so what does it do?
It kills, but it creatively kills.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. You said something like, possesses you.
Yeah,
finds you.
it can make it sound okay. So there's one scene where Karen Gillan decides that she's going to take a bite out of a delicious apple. Oh no, it turns out it's a light bulb. It can make you feel, smell, taste everything until something terrible happens, and then at that point the mirror gets to
Gil?
laugh.
I was just curious because originally it just sounded like a bad boyfriend, but I mean, so at that point it.
All right. When a bad boyfriend decides to, one of its many murders, it had committed 45 confirmed in the film, and there may be others.
45. That's it. Oh God.
Those are just select ones that it decided to seek out specifically. But even in one of them, there was the case of a mother who who thought that she was tucking her 2 children into bed, when turns out she was actually drowning them in a bathtub.
So that
And
doesn't
then she had to take a hammer
Oh,
to
Gil,
herself.
you changed.
Yeah. So that doesn't sound like the mirror itself was evil, but the reflection of the human desires that the mirror itself was pulling out.
The mother did not want to kill her children.
So
She
there
thought she
is
was helping them.
There's a thing in folklore That's called a witch's mirror. That does exactly that. It is one of the closest analogs to what you're describing right now.
You're referring
And
to the
mirror-
Black Mirror of the what is it, the traveling cult it was a traveling museum
So
of
it's-
occult and paranormal.
It was based off that, and it went to the Traveling Museum of the Paranormal and the Occult.
Mm-hmm.
The mirror itself was based off that story where a psychic took the mirror, bought it to do magic tricks. Didn't really work out. She
All
slowly
right.
changed her things.
Enough
But
of the
it's
history
debunked-
lessons.
done-
Why is it evil? Christ.
The mirror itself isn't evil. The people that are looking at the mirror become evil.
No. Because if it can kill plants and animals, it's not them. It's just it chooses it. It shows it as its own intelligence.
Can it kill plants and animals?
Yes, it can. So it's not a reflection on the own person's soul. If it can just choose and pick on its own, it has its own sentient knowledge.
And there's nothing shown
you
in Event
have something to
Horizon
add?
of it killing anything other than sentient beings.
It
And even
influences
beings
all-
Tia,
that
did
kind
you
of
have a
come to
thought?
them.
Hey,
there's no plants on the ship.
Can
for
I
the
can I
two.
can I have a minute?
You may
I
have
haven't
a
said
minute.
anything at all. Jesus Christ, people.
to
Okay. So explain to me real quick, what exactly does the ship do? Like, what's the stuff that's on the ship?
The ship influences the wills and acts of everybody else. It induces hallucinations, alters their mindsets. Actually, is like a wicked acid trip. Imagine like Hellraiser, but all in your mind and making you see and do things. One of the doctors actually claws out his own eyes due to the will of the ship, and he gets ejected out into space. And the ship actually saves him when he has no hazard suits, and he comes back with his eyes back
The
again
ship saves him?
because it's using him. It wants him to
But
continue
if
its
he-
purpose.
It never
How-
exhibits any creativity in any of it, and it doesn't show that it has a chip on its shoulder against any of its victims.
All right, here's what
whereas
I need from you both,
the left
okay?
left
Because
us.
this could go on forever.
Yep.
Give me the most evil example of your object. Okay, for your closing, show me why yours is more evil. Give me one quick story to share the evil. Go.
It literally opened up the gates to hell, sucked one of the crewmates in, and he was inside hell, tormented. It spit him back out, and the same process destroyed the ship that was the getaway ship. Throughout the entire movie, he's being tormented by the visions and scenery that he had in hell, to the point where he tried to commit suicide by ejecting himself into space without any gear or hazmats. He still survives and is completely just destroyed physically because of it. He is just driven completely mad because of this.
Lynn, your example?
The Event Horizon never demonstrates any form of creativity or originality in its murders. Instead, the Oculus decided it did irony. So in one case, there was an incredibly overweight man, and it decided that he would forget to eat long enough to cause him to die. There was a woman that drank too much, and she wound up dying in a bathtub of dehydration. It did these things sadistically instead of just doing them because it was designed to do so by hell. It came up with each of the deaths of its own volition, and it won because of it. It toyed with the girl who thought that she could beat it, and then it wound up killing her and then creating an exact mirror of what had happened 11 years before, specifically just to fuck with them.
All right. I'm going to call it, but neither of you really gave me an evil example. You just gave me broad strokes as to why the thing's in hell. They're both hell examples to me. They're both right.
It's
They're both
literally a gate to hell.
right, but yours is also sort of listening to hell.
It's
and,
autonomously
so,
evil instead of just being designed or influenced.
It's also a mirror, but yours is a spaceship.
And it committed 45
Yeah, I
murders
mean, you
by
know what?
just being a mirror.
That's you
pretty
kind of just
impressive.
helped her because it is kind of weird. How can a mirror that do that all those things? That's kind of yes.
A mirror can't move. A spaceship can.
Yeah,
It can't spread its influence except for the room it's in.
But the mirror, because it's so common, it can be spread around more, and more evil
It's
from there
not that
can
common.
spread
Have you
out.
seen that mirror? It's literally 3.5 feet tall, looking like it's straight out like a medieval evil painting.
Here's the problem. The thing that stuck with me the most, people from yours escaped and it was destroyed. Yours
It
was
came
not.
with them. It
That's a
needed
pretty
more
good
people.
point of you were able to defeat everyone where you're both about even. I got to say,
Mine literally planned it.
I got to give it to Lynn, and Oculus gets the point.
See the movie. It's a good ass movie.
I mean, that was a hard one to judge. I was going at straws, but You didn't really give me, like, I wanted more a specific gross grisly death or something, but yeah, they're both hell machines. Got it. All right, time for round 3. In this round, we got Tia stepping up against Gil, and you guys will be tackling most misunderstood villain. Tia, which villain are you picking?
I chose Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, animated Sleeping Beauty.
I
Gil?
chose an actual villain, Thanos.
Thanos versus Maleficent. All right, let's hear it. Go.
Hobbits first.
Ooh.
Oh, so you should go since you ate one.
I don't want to be eaten by you. That's strange. Anyways, so Maleficent, she is seen as a very evil woman, but the thing is, she was not invited to a party. Let's just throw it out there. The king and queen had a baby. They were not having any kids, and so this is a big event. Maleficent is a fae. She is a nature fairy. So what happens is when you disrespect a woman, a queen, I'm sorry, she is a queen. When you disrespect a fae and just blatantly not invite her, but all the other fairies to the party, that is just straight up rude, okay?
That's terrible. I mean, I would kill people for that.
Honestly, it's a political event. And if you go around and you don't invite, I think...
You don't want to drag the queen along. I understand. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't bring, what was it? I think it was Britain didn't invite Ireland or Scotland.
100 years, Britain would not include Ireland in anything. It was such a huge political thing. When you have political standing in all these countries that you don't invite or talk or anything like that, it causes wars.
Well,
it
they post
causes
on
all these other
Facebook.
things.
Everyone gets
So,
crazy.
yeah, I agree with her point.
So she didn't get invited. And so what she did instead
Did you post
of
about
just...
it on Facebook?
Oh my God, Gail, shut the fuck
Twitter?
up.
Hashtag neglected.
Instead of killing the daughter right off the bat, she gave her a curse that can be completely avoided, and had it been actually dealt with properly, she wouldn't have been.
How do you deal with that curse properly?
Well, first off, she said on her 15th birthday, she will prick her finger on a spindle and she will die. Instead of sending off the daughter to go live with 3 fairies in the woods with no,
been there,
she knows nothing of her being a princess or anything. All they had to do is just tell her, this is what happened. You were cursed as a baby.
Stay away from the spinning
Spindles,
wheels.
so if you ever touch a spindle, you will die.
Education's important.
Don't become a GJ.
They could have looked up ways to break curses. They had years to do it, but no, send a daughter off to the woods.
I mean, a random crazy lady who didn't get invited to your party just told you that your daughter's going to die. I mean, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. I mean,
honestly, if a fae goes and gives you a chance to redeem yourself, which is by her giving them a chance, it's actually very, very lucky. They were lucky to have done that.
But she was nice.
All right, and
She is
to
just
wrap up so I can hear
misunderstood.
Thanos'
She was
side. She
disrespected.
was misunderstood and didn't actually try to murder her. She gave her a curable curse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was just an accident. I mean,
So let's hear about Thanos.
So the other day I was watching a movie with a recent one with Bruce Willis. I think it was Death Wish or something. Horrible film. Don't watch it. But in this film, he's a father. Something happens. The family gets injured. Blah blah blah. He takes up action on his own. Gets a gun, starts shooting up a bunch of underprivileged youths, and essentially, you at the end of it, you feel invigorated that the father has done this because he's essentially cut through the red tape of everything. There's cops are inept; they don't know what the hell they're doing. Half of them are bought, and essentially, that is the story of Thanos. He sees that everyone in the universe is all caught up on whether or not is this good or is this bad. And he's like, no, I'm going to do the good thing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to take half. Take half, cut everyone out, don't have to worry about it.
A movie that you stated was terrible.
I mean, but what I'm saying is at the end of the movie, everyone was still happy.
The argument is if he's misunderstood. I will say every single Avenger knew what he wanted to do, why he wanted to do
they
it.
understand his reasoning?
No, they understood the reason. They didn't care. They still disagreed
So they
with
didn't
it.
care.
So he's the most disagreed with villain, but not the most misunderstood.
So there's an ending.
He's not
to
just evil, he's wrong, and everyone
How is he
does
wrong?
not. He's trying to kill out half the population
So
of
this
each
conversation right here,
planet.
this is the concept of misguided. The entirety of his mantra is duplicity. He treats Gamora perfect, relatively speaking, to his standards.
He killed her. He threw her off a cliff.
Eventually, spoilers. But he loved her more than anything else, more than anyone else. His other daughter didn't do so well. So essentially, this is his
destroyed
entire
her body,
concept.
turned her into a.
Exactly. He didn't treat her well at all. That's entirely the
Why is he misguided?
Why is he?
because of the fact that he did what everyone wants to do. They want to get past the red tape of government thing.
Sorry, I'm not trying to show my cards, but how is just cutting off, destroying half of the civilization, cutting through the red tape of what?
Because his
Maleficent
entire
didn't kill
planet
anyone
was
either.
destroyed because people didn't come to a decision. His
Decision of what? What did
of
he
what to
do
about
that
the
was
planet,
right?
What to do about the resources they had
Okay,
left.
that's what I'm trying to hear you
Okay.
explain. Yes, which was what? What is Thanos' beliefs that the killing the half the people is doing what?
It's basically just doing what he believes to be right.
But that doesn't mean that he's good.
They don't understand why he's doing it because they just see him as one
They
big
do.
evil
He
guy.
tells them exactly why he's doing this.
And they still don't trust him. They don't actually listen to him.
But it doesn't mean he doesn't misunderstand. They understand. They just don't care. Also, with the fact that we brought up the Fae and the humans, we're going to look at it as a cultural standpoint. If you go to a place and you disrespect someone's culture, it causes miscommunication and it causes issues. So then we have classes in college to talk about talking and communicating and how to get along. She is the queen of the Fae. She should have been invited. She gave a curable curse, and then everyone misunderstood
she
it.
didn't
All
give
right.
the curable curse. The other fairies did. She accidentally created a loophole that the other fairies exploited. Also, did Maleficent ever cry in her movie over the death of his daughter?
No one died except for her.
Yeah. Did she ever cry though?
No, because there was no reason for her to cry. No one died except for her. Literally, just for her.
So what makes her misunderstood?
It's a cultural thing.
It's a cultural thing. Like,
No,
she didn't
understand,
actually do anything wrong. And besides, no, she has to be misunderstood for one thing because they don't understand they're humans and these are fae. They're fairies. And even the fairies understood that this was an issue when she showed up. They knew. And so for her to do something, everyone else is seeing her as evil.
All right, here's my.
So-
Not to give. I understand why she's misunderstood. I still don't understand what we guys are fighting about with Thanos. You gotta educate me here. What the hell are you guys fighting here? What is so misunderstood?
So Thanos. Oh, okay.
I got this.
There we go. Don, solve this for
Thanos
me.
is not doing anything on a selfless act. Well, he's doing everything selflessly. He is trying to save essentially the entire universe. He's doing.
Why? Why is he
because
trying to
believes
spell it out for me?
The universe is on a downward spiral for destruction. That we are depleting all
So
our
does he
resources
say.
by believing, oh, we can save everyone, keep everyone alive, but at the same time burn out through everything that we have. And his philosophy about cutting everything in half without any judgment, without any prerequisite of bias, is the fairest act you can possibly do. There is no way that he is putting it in, okay, only the wealthy will go, only the old will go, only the young. He is cutting it down in half, doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, and it's the most unbiased act that he could possibly imagine.
But
This
it
is what
because he makes it.
This is the philosophy that he tried to do with his own people in Titan. He actually made the argument. He tried selling Doctor Strange on it, saying, listen, we had a solution. We cut it off right here. We eliminate half the people. We do a lotto. It doesn't have to be by anything. And they couldn't do that because people want to survive. People would want to fight for themselves and be selfish. They want to fight for other things. He even sacrificed Gamora because of who he loved.
Yes.
And that's how he got the Soul Stone, because he believed this is the right thing to do. This is how he can save not just his people, which did die, but the universe. If he wanted to be selfish and save his people, save Gamora, he could have snapped his fingers afterwards and be like, my people live, everybody else dies.
But I still don't understand why he is considered misunderstood, though. All I'm hearing is his reasons for his doing things. It's not necessarily.
Wait, hold on. You guys are saying he's misunderstood when really you're arguing whether he's right. There's a difference between misunderstood and right. Before you interrupt, let me say my point. Everyone understood. Everyone understood what he was saying. Everyone understood what he said.
Right,
They
but
saw
your
his past.
beliefs can be misunderstood.
what?
Let's write the
Okay.
beliefs, and I think that's what they're arguing here.
They
just
need to argue that
Yes,
the police are misunderstood.
so,
They
well-
understood what he was doing. They said it was fundamentally wrong.
The specific, yes, we both understood what they're doing, but yes, we didn't. You're
last
running out of
point,
time,
last
guys.
point.
Why is he misunderstood?
So Thanos is a Titan. he is maybe one or two rungs under Ego. Ego being Star-Lord's dad, this gigantic, basically planet thing. A human cannot understand the perspective of a Titan. It's just not possible. He's lived thousands of years. He's stronger than the fucking Hulk, smarter than Tony Stark.
How is he supposed to understand everybody else's thoughts then? Like, what makes
Because
him okay to just kill
he can
everyone
see the
else?
entire universe. He's traveled the entire universe.
All right.
He saved it.
10 seconds
Yeah, 'cause he
each.
killed half the population.
10 seconds.
Yeah, so you're saying he's right.
No, I'm not saying he's right at
Oh, it
all.
sounds like you said
Just
he's right.
because you kill half the population doesn't mean you're actually like making it survive. You killed half of the population.
Mm-hmm.
That could have deeply affected everything around that whole entire planet
Okay.
in a bad way.
10 seconds, Gil. Close it out.
As I said, he is a god, essentially. He's stronger than all of them. It's like saying, oh, why does Jesus or why does God do the things he do? We don't fucking know because he sees things past what we're capable of. It's just, you cannot perceive what he's actually doing. You can say, yeah, that sounds what he's doing is bad, but in reality, it's your perception of it is too freaking small.
Are we
Time.
turning this into a religious thing now?
Time. All right, here's where I'm stuck. I'm not really that stuck. I don't know why I
thanks for
was
being
trying to
nice.
help so much, but it's like it was all very clear what he wanted to do, and I think there was what you guys struggled with is explaining why it was good to wipe out half the people. Why was that actually a good choice? Because he does try and explain it, and he does do it in the movie. The God thing was the closest thing you got to it, which is great, but then you countered that really well. Well, then how would a God know what's good for humans anyway? Because he's not living as a human. So even when you sort of got a leg up, she got you back. So I got to give Tia the point. Maleficent beat Thanos. I didn't think it was going to happen, but it did. That's what happens here in the Nerd War. Sanderson sisters are on the board with 3 points. And that means Brokeback Hellraiser, you guys have 0, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the show. This next round of Who's the Best could get you 3 more points. So let's play Who's the Best? Ha-ha! All right, now I'm going to go back down and get my figures. Oh, and I'm back! Isn't that fun? It's like a... All right, got my figures in here. All right. So the way Who's the Best works is I have a bunch of toys in here. I will pull 2 at random for each question. And the first question up will be, in honor of Venom, which opened last week, who would be the best character for Tom Hardy to portray? Who would be the best character for Tom Hardy to portray?
Yeah.
We have Data from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Maybe not him.
Oh, we have Wayne Campbell from Wayne's World. We have Data and Wayne Campbell, okay? And now I'm going to flip a coin. Tia, I'll let you decide. Heads or tails?
Tails.
It is tails.
Woo!
You get to choose. Would you like Data or would you like Wayne? So Tom Hardy would play Wayne, and you guys will have Data from Star Trek Next Generation. Go!
I mean, look at him. It's Wayne. And honestly, Tom Hardy, if I were to have anybody choose, like, it has to be Wayne. He's just a cool-ass dude. And while, yeah, Data is all right, he's just, for Tom Hardy.
Amazing. Data's amazing, and Brett Spiner played him flawlessly. However, I don't think that that's within the wheelhouse of Bronson.
I have to disagree entirely. Honestly, there's literally no roles that I cannot see Tom Hardy doing it, much less Data. I mean, he has emotional range and even no emotional range. He can do anything. I mean, look at Behm. His entire acting was right in the eyes, and I saw it, and it pierced my soul, and I felt something that day.
But he wasn't learning to emote.
But it's not the best role he can play.
Oh, because he can't act that way?
He's
You
not
felt
even
something?
He's not
Oh, I
even
felt something.
Bane.
Something really deep below.
He's not really a main
You know, Bane
character,
made Gil
right?
feel.
So he's not really a main character. Tom Hardy is main character material.
Have you
the
seen
ladies,
the Bear movie
The
with
ladies
Leonardo
want to
DiCaprio?
see Tom Hardy on the screen. I'm not going to see it. I'm going to see more of Tom Hardy when he's playing the main character.
Do you know when he was on
Wayne's World.
Dunkirk?
All right,
I'm
I
gonna
need to
see
hear
more of
last seconds. What is Tom Hardy going to do in the role? I need to hear it specifically. Tell me
Sex
Wayne
symbol.
Campbell as Tom Hardy.
Sex
Hold it up
symbol.
and show me.
Sex symbol. I'm going to watch him and hard rock music.
And you know for a fact that it would be super duper fun to see Tom Hardy in a comedy.
Wayne's World. Wayne's World.
If you want to see something silly, go ahead, but I want to see him act the shit out of Data.
Look at Legend when he was playing the twins.
Yeah,
One
two
brother
different
is
characters.
very
Oh, you didn't watch that
mentally
movie?
undisturbed, and the other ones they're hovering over 2 spectrums. He's playing 2 characters in the same movie. Twins and
Higher
two
box
emotionally
office. He's
different
going to sign
spectrums.
up for this one.
You're going to see
No,
Data
he doesn't have higher
develop
box office.
emotionally more so than Wayne Brady is.
Wayne Brady?
Wayne Brady.
Oh.
Than Wayne's World will ever do. And in all due respect, I love Tom Hardy, but I
And
don't
Wayne
believe
Brady.
he can pull off the Wayne's World as well as he would pull off the Data. Data,
so
he's
why
going to
would
be
he want to?
perfect for it.
All right, time's up. That's it. You guys got to move faster. I mean,
Food Fister.
move faster. Sorry. Man, that's rough. But I mean, I do think you,
Yeah,
you
which
talked
one
about
is
the
better?
range, and you talked about I don't know.
Not a movie, not a
While the best thing you said was it would be a comedy, but I didn't hear anything of what he's going to do. And you brought me a little bit more examples from the other movies and
Actual-
stuff. That's not a pity point. You actually
No, it
did
feels
get
like a
that
pity point,
point.
but it's okay, whatever.
You get 1 point to keep it interesting. Come on, guys, bring it even harder.
Yes.
All right.
Excitement.
Next up, round 2. Let's do something that we probably shouldn't talk about, but let's go a little political, shall we, guys? Who would be the best Supreme Court judge?
Oh, Lord.
We'll see.
Are you sure you're not better?
We have Obi-Wan.
Oh, I'm better? Okay.
We have Obi-Wan.
Oh, well.
And Skeletor.
Obi-Wan.
AKA
Sort of.
Rick Perry.
And Mega Man.
Oh, I mean, fuck. I mean, that's literally the only thing you know about.
This is literally all I know.
We have Mega Man, and we have so you won the coin toss last time, so you get to pick this first time. You got Mega Man, and you're Obi-Wan. Who would be the best Supreme Court judge? Go.
So the Supreme Court is supposed to
Mega Man.
judge the Constitution how it is and how it should be valued today. Obi-Wan has been part of the Jedi Order, and he is part of the old and saw new transitions. So he is objective, but he is also able to see that the old ways need to be changed to benefit the other.
He's a light side Jedi, and he stayed light side to the end, which means that he's impartial and without bias.
The year is 20XX. Mega Man is here to bring legislation to the world. And do you know how he's going to do it?
How?
By being impartial and killing as many robots as he possibly can in order to get all of their legislation powers.
Whoa.
We have Quill Man, who brings the power to write the laws through his own quill. We have Tax Man, who is able to properly bring...
Seal this home, bro.
You got this. I'm just going to let you go. I'm just going to let you go for a second.
We'll let you do your thing.
Let you do your thing.
Taxman. What's Taxman
Let
going
you
to
do
bring
your
us?
thing.
All right, Taxman is going to bring us so much information on what is legal or not during the tax process. We have Foreign Policy Man, who's really good at dealing with foreign policy.
Audit the Fed, man.
Wow.
Audit
okay.
the Fed Man,
Wow.
who is really
a lot of
good.
interesting Supreme Court cases that he's going to be dealing with. Okay.
Okay.
Last quick seconds.
Obi-Wan has traveled the universe and has done diplomacy. He's fought in wars. He has experience. He's actually been a judge. So he has all the courses there. Also, Mega Man, I don't know if whether or not he could die, so it actually bring into question whether or not he could actually stay in the
Have you
Supreme
seen
Court.
Mega Man touch a spike?
I'm not
He
talking about
does
that.
die. All right. Any negatives on Obi-Wan quickly?
Yeah, of course. Obi-Wan tried to push a child through that wasn't ready into the Jedi Council.
Only because of necessity.
Doesn't Mega Man have to actually beat these robots in order to get these skills?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't have to do that. He
Yeah.
already has those abilities. He gained them himself.
He
Yeah,
has
it's
tax
just-
abilities?
Sure, he learned how to do it.
Obi-Wan only believes in the
Mega
old
Man has
ways
to
of the
consume
Force.
the
He doesn't
powers by
believe
defeating
in
them and stuff
conforming
like
and
that. So
adjusting and changing the ways of the Force. He believes in the old ways. It's Mark Hamill's character, Luke Skywalker, that wants to change the ways of the Force.
no, because
Obi-Wan is stuck in his old ways.
Obi-Wan
On the fence, so I'm letting you go a couple more seconds. Go ahead
Obi-Wan
quickly.
talked to Anakin, and he was willing to explore new ways. So it shows that he does old school and new school, and he was also the one that helped preserve the Jedi.
And
But
then he
can
made Darth
Obi-Wan
Darth
file
Vader.
for trademark infringement?
Yeah, he made Darth Vader, and I don't believe he would learn the what was it, Royal?
Yeah, there's so much that Mega Man can actually
He
learn.
doesn't have those
Not
skills. I
make
gotta
it-
sadly give the point to Mega Man.
didn't
Yeah,
make- he didn't
I mean,
make-
I didn't
He's
see
a
that
super
coming.
fighting robot who's really good at law.
I mean, it was a very sometimes creativity wins the point,
Yeah.
and
But he
I gotta
didn't
give
create
him the
Darth Vader.
creativity. You still are up by a point. Win this, and it's over. Okay. You guys think you can get this, Sanderson sisters? Yes. All right, here we go, Sanderson sisters. Final one here. All right, here it is. Who would be the best at killing someone and getting away with it? In honor of, so we're keeping the October theme. Who would be the
Definitely
best
not me.
at killing someone and getting away with it? Pee Wee Herman. And let's see here. Morpheus. Morpheus. And you're taking Morpheus? Yeah, you get to pick this first time. Morpheus versus Pee Wee Herman. All right, it might be an uphill battle, but that's how this game works. Fight.
I'll let you go first.
He's in the Matrix. He can just kill somebody and then go on the telephone and be like, "Oh, get me out of here!" And then he's gone.
It's literally saying that he gets away with it. Oh, get me out of here doesn't mean he gets away with it. It just means that I escaped. It just means that everybody knows he killed somebody.
He wouldn't even chill in
does mean
prison
he
because you
killed
get one
somebody.
phone call.
Let me clarify to make sure you guys are on point.
Yeah.
No one can know they murdered someone.
Yeah.
That means getting away with it from me.
But-
Getting away with it means you killed someone and no one knows.
But then he could
So
kill
I want to
somebody
make
in
sure
the
that's
house.
clear, so go.
But then he
Literally,
could-
Pee-wee's Playhouse is a house of murder.
Everyone
there is
would know
everything
Pee-wee
that's
did something.
hidden in there. No.
Cherry, Zombie, that's not Pee Wee.
That doesn't mean
hear
he's.
him laughing
This
from
is Pee Wee Herman.
Miles away.
Zombie's not Pee Wee.
You're saying
Cherry's
the house
not Pee
wouldn't
Wee.
murder him, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows who Pee Wee looks like. So like, that's Pee Wee. That's Pee Wee. That's
Have you
Walk
seen
me
Pee-wee's
through.
Great Adventure?
Walk me through how your
travels the
character is
country.
going to murder
Okay,
someone.
sure he's killed a lot of people
do you
while
know
he's
how murder
traveling.
gets solved? Do you know how murder gets solved in profiling? Because I used to study it. Okay, so yes, I did.
so-
I used to study it, and I used to do debates on serial killers. So he would be obviously picked out because he brags.
Because he's
everything.
a white male?
No, well,
What?
actually,
Why you gotta be so judgmental?
the profile for a serial killer is a middle-aged white male. Who?
All right, hold on. I don't want to go on this
That is-
angle.
Yep.
What?
Listen.
Tell me how are they going to do their murder and get away with it? Go.
He could just go up into somebody's house, just blink there, and then kill them, and then zap out with the telephone. Nobody knows who did it, whatever
Would
else.
no one
That's-
know?
Oh, that's all through the telephone, but we're talking about real life.
He could
Pee-wee
also-
Herman will literally show up with a magic bicycle and school bus, whatever he's kind of come up with. He invents all his equipment by scratch. Have you ever seen him wake up in the morning? It literally is a rolling egg that just rolls around,
Ruth-
gets
yeah.
him out of his bed, and he is an inventor.
Also,
He's going to invent different ways of how to cut.
Also,
Go-
Shannon
Goldberg,
pointed
that's
out
what it
he's
is,
the
yeah.
perfect serial killer.
This is true.
Yeah,
He
as
would get
Shannon
caught.
just
He
pointed out.
He would get caught.
Yeah.
He'd be profiled as a disorganized serial killer,
Yeah.
and he'd get caught on the 7th kill.
Would you really?
So he got away with 6? He got away with 6 then? He got away with 6 then?
Morpheus literally killed a bunch of people in the movies.
Where?
However,
How?
However, he could
How?
just in the movies.
How did he kill them?
I know how you do it. So
Morpheus
Morpheus.
would
Hold on.
He do it
Whoa,
in Nintendo
come
VR.
on.
All right.
Relax.
All right. He could just tell. I don't remember his name, but the kid that does all the programming and created the redhead and all that crap. He could just tell him, "Hey, guy, make this thing that's gonna go kill that guy right there."
So
Done. And he didn't even he's the
basically
perpetrator.
killing fictional characters while Pee-wee's out in the real life.
Time.
killing
It's
real
a real
people.
person.
Time. No, it's not. That's not. Matrix
In the
is.
tube,
They're in
yes.
tubes. That doesn't mean they're dead in the tubes.
Yes, it does.
Not necessarily.
Yes,
It's
it
a little
does.
confusing.
In the movies,
no.
they die if they die in the
Not
Matrix.
always.
Yes.
It still feels like a digital cheat that I guess he could kill. I don't know. What
He
doesn't
has
matter?
magic.
Shannon admitted that he would kill 6 people before he got caught. That's what got him the point. She did, and she admitted it, and that
will
took it. And
six.
these are digital kills. Yes, I think it's debatable, but your own team member gave it to him, so that's what ultimately got that point there. We have to go to a tiebreaker. I have to edit this longer. I'm not just giving you pity points. I feel like that was a fair
A win
point.
is a win.
You got it. Let's do it. Final point. You guys are now tied. All right, for the tiebreaker, here we go. Who would have the biggest dick?
Yes.
Gonzo
Yes.
and Yoda.
Wait.
Who has the biggest dick? We have to flip again to do this fair. Heads or tails? You get to call this time. Don, heads or tails?
Heads.
It is heads. Who would you like, Gonzo or Yoda? Who has the biggest dick?
Let's go. I'm feeling Yoda. I'm feeling strong with the Force.
You're the only one saying fuck here.
Oh, she's excited. Tia's excited for Gonzo. Fight it out.
I'll let the lady go first. Come
We're
on.
not arguing
I-
effective, Dick. We're
Look at
arguing
his
big.
nose.
Big.
Let me tell you
Not always
something.
effective.
Can you not tell me that his nose is not a representation of what's in his pants?
If we're making that argument,
Look at his
Into
hands.
his fucking face
oh
and body.
please, Yoda has that beat every single way. He has
Yeah, but but compared
the
to how
ears,
to
the hands, and the feet.
compared to how tall he is to him,
They're about
Yoda's
the same height.
We don't know that.
Yes,
he
they
looks like
are.
he has more legs to him.
They're what, gangly legs? There's nothing
Don't
there.
you dare insult
Listen,
my dangly
Yoda
legs.
has to have a robe and a cloak on in order to hide that massive beast that he has underneath there.
He doesn't need
There's no
functioning
way.
legs because he's a tripod.
There's no. Listen, he does have functioning legs. And thank you. You barely see his legs at all. Every time you see him, he's sitting down because he can't walk.
Doesn't he also have a tripod?
He has to use the force to get by.
He's literally sitting all the fucking time. Like you see him all the
Are you
time in the movie.
Are you implying that's why he's sitting all the time because it's hard to get around?
There's a lot of
With
meditation
age,
going
your
on there.
penis shrinks with age, and he is
used
old as
the force
fuck.
to
Literally,
focus
yeah,
the
he
blood
has to be
flow all the
completely
way
shriveled-
down there.
shriveled up.
This is why he's so stunted in height.
Yeah, but when he gets blood in that dick, it's gigantic.
Exactly.
Let's just say he wields the Force better than anyone in the Jedi Council, and the Force is not the Force; it is his dick.
Like, look, okay, for one thing, usually long legs, big ass nose, who knows?
What if his nose is a dick? That means he has two dicks.
It's
It
not that
actually kind
question.
of looks
The
like a
question
dick.
is,
Look,
like,
you can
big
see
as
the
dick.
head right there.
It does look like one. I gotta be
It kind of
honest.
looks like a dick.
Do we
it's
know
a
that-
that
limp
way?
dick.
Do
He
we know
has
that
two
it's not?
fucking dicks. He has two dicks.
We're not arguing
All
how
right,
many dicks he has.
hold
we're
on a
arguing how
second.
big
So
they
this
are.
is where I'm gonna get real here. If he is going down on me, he's gonna get it in.
So by the nose. By the nose.
Who
Listen,
cares if it's a second dick? Who
Listen,
gives a fuck?
We're not arguing two dicks. We're arguing which one's bigger.
Exactly.
His.
That's the point. And the fact that also gravity has been on his side for centuries now. Yoda is the oldest creature out there. Gravity's been pulling down on this thing. He's been having
Nutter
such
is
a long
pulling it back up.
For Huddle, if you need to, final thought: why does your character have the bigger dick, Gonzo versus Yoda?
In male enhancement drugs, what they do. They enhance blood flow. Metachlorians, the force is literally in your blood. Yoda spends 90% of his day meditation on how to best use his metachlorians and the force. He can literally make his dick as big as he needs it to be. He can overwhelm Gonzo and his two dicks that you're all making the argument for, which is not the argument, by just saying, give me about 2 seconds. I got this shit.
All right. Or you need to tell me why two dicks counts as the biggest dick, because I gotta agree. So in your closing.
Well, I
here.
mean, combined force. But then also, we don't know what Gonzo is necessarily, and his species is never actually named. So
That's true.
We have no idea about the efficacy of his wiener, or to potentially how large it is. And honestly,
Or
it's the
potentially
exact.
if it exists.
It's also the exact same problem with Yoda. So I mean, he could.
Established he's an alien. The Muppets
Oh
from
yeah.
Space established
Did they
he's an
really?
alien. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Muppets from Space. Okay, that's fair. He's an alien.
So space radiation. It causes dicks to get bigger.
does
You
Yoda.
can't prove me wrong.
Yoda would also be dealing
It
with
could
space
also cause you
radiation
to
then.
shrivel.
That would have made Fantastic Four.
Yoda is
entirely
even more
different
shriveled
film.
since he's older.
Exactly, and he's been in space.
But that's where the
longer.
force comes in. Blood flow helps.
No, I just,
That's not how the fucking force works.
just argued
debatable.
against myself.
I mean, you guys are
I'm-
talking about ladies, what we enjoy, and we enjoy
Oh,
Gonzo
We've
dick.
not talked about that.
No, that's not the,
We
that's not
enjoy
the
the
subject.
We enjoy the
God,
size.
it's got way too
The subject is
specific.
which is bigger.
All right, I got to call it. That was grosser than I realized it was going to get. I guess what did I expect it to do?
No.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it did come down. You make a good point. His nose looks like a dick, but it's his nose. I didn't hear enough about why, except from the gangly legs, I didn't hear enough about why, his gonzoism might be there. I heard a little bit more through the metachlorians and everything else. And the Force, I got to give it to Yoda.
Like a boy.
I got to give it to Adon, who now I guess is undefeated. Oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. You guys got the point and the win. Congratulations. What was your name? Brokeback Hellraiser. You guys got this point.
Of course, they would know dicks.
I have said it before. I have lost battles, but I don't win. I don't lose the wars.
Wow. All right. Well, you guys, that was a valiant effort, and you won in my opinion overall because you really won the show. You just lost the mini game, so you technically won the game, but you lost the mini game. So congratulations. No, for real. You guys are the best. Come back, please, and do this again, and let's beat them. I'd love to see a rematch this episode. Fellas, congrats. You got lucky there at the end. You clearly got lucky with the coin because Yoda was the better choice.
I could have won either way.
That's why I flipped it again. I was like, this seems weighted. I got to see who gets the odd. But anyway, very good round, funny match. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for a quick Behind the War next. And if you subscribe to our Patreon, and thanks so much for watching as always. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Bye. We're here in Behind the War where we talk about the show. And this episode, we had Best Dick, which clearly got you guys stewing. How was I wrong? Do you guys feel like...
Oh, sir, you weren't wrong at all.
They literally lost the team.
Oh, God.
That's